Yo, hello, what's up, everyone? So yeah, today I wanted to talk about the reason why Judaism is different than other religions is because millions of eyewitnesses actually saw the revelation of the Creator himself, with millions of angels speaking, and the Creator was speaking to us in perfect Hebrew from all six directions at Mount Sinai, telling us he's the creator. Now, obviously, the creator has no physical body, but they saw like a giant fire coming down from the heavens. They saw lightning and fire. They heard the creator's voice. They saw the angels, and they could also feel the creator and experience the same prophecy that Moshe experienced. Undeniable physical reality. As the creator spoke, cedar trees shattered. The whole world was silent. This is an undeniable revelation. And yeah, I mean, just telling people, maybe there's some discussion about a lot of different religions people talk about, but like it all comes down to actual evidence, scientific evidence. Judaism is the only religion that has unrefutable scientific evidence that supports it entirely, because it's backed up by millions of independent witnesses that saw the revelation of the Creator at Mount Sinai. And these millions of people told their millions of kids and other students, millions of people at a time, and then those millions of people told other millions of people. And since that time, 2,336 years ago, there's a completely unbroken chain of traditions all the way to the modern day. And there's no
अभी
other
मैं तो
religion that
बैठा
has anything like that remotely. So that's the scientific,
हूँ भी आने
irrefutable
भी
evidence
मैंने रिक्वेस्ट
that the
कर दी
Torah is absolutely true forever. Maybe I'll bring up a letter to the Rebbe if I can. About the letter that the Lubavitch Rebbe wrote about how we know that the Torah is actually true, like scientifically. Um, so it's better, it's different than other religions. So other religions don't really trace back to anything. They only have like one or a couple witnesses that could have been making stuff up on the spot, kind of thing. So it's not really so reliable. But the Torah actually has millions of independent witnesses. So that all of that was, and there's an unbroken chain of tradition from them to the present modern day, that can never be refuted. So it says this is that the Lubavitch Rebbe wrote on the Chabad.org. You can find it in other places, but it says in the middle, it says millions of Jews have always known and still know that the Creator is the author of the Torah Shebichsav, the written Torah, and the Torah Shebal Peh, the oral Torah, which is later recorded in the Talmud, which he gave to his people Israel not only to study but to observe in practice in their daily life. The Torah was in the tradition is not just like some kind of hypothetical thing. It's like something that people were always doing practically in their practical lives. And not only that, but Almighty made it a condition of the existence and welfare of our people as a whole, and of the true happiness of every individual member of our nation. It's not just like the Torah tradition is not just like some kind of hypothetical thing. This is like practical things people were observing and receiving the continued blessings of the Creator throughout all the different types of circumstances throughout thousands of years. Not just theoretically, but actually practically. Now, here's the kicker. So, how exactly do these millions of individuals know? We know that they know. The fact that they know is because they practice it all the time and they have the guaranteed success of the creator. But how do they know? And how did they know in the past that the Torah is true? It says simply because they have it on the evidence of their fathers, which were millions of Jews that preceded them, and these in turn from their fathers, and so on uninterruptedly is the key, with no weak links whatsoever in the slightest. Back to the original sources, which were millions of Jews, if we include women and children and those above and below the age range of the 600,000 male adults. The Torah says that 600,000 male soldiers left Egypt. So they also had wives and kids and other people. So if we count the other people, there's millions of people that went out of Egypt that saw the Creator reveal himself at Mount Sinai. Giant lightning coming out of the sky, millions of angels, his voice speaking to them in perfect Hebrew, shattering cedar trees. And they witnessed the divine revelation at Sinai. So from the modern day, from the millions of Jewish people that know now, that definitely know, and have always definitely, without any remote hint of a doubt, have always known absolutely and completely and totally that the Torah is divine. They've always known it. So how do they know it? Because they've known it from an uninterrupted tradition of practice and observance, all the way back to the original primary sources, who were the original eyewitnesses who saw the revelation of the Creator at Mount Sinai. And eyewitness testimony is the strongest possible form of evidence that could ever possibly exist for anything. And especially when you have multiple sources that are multiple disinterested sources that are not part of the same group. Throughout all these generations, the very same content has been traditionally handed down, not by a single group. People think, the Jews, they're all just like one kind of group conspiring. Like, no, dude, the Jews are an entire world. There are millions of people that are all different and disagree about almost everything else, but they still have the same exact tradition of and content of the Creator giving them the Torah, and the same exact practice for thousands of years in all types of different places. So the Jewish people are not just like some single group that could like conspire together to make it up. There's absolutely no possibility that it could ever be faked in any way. It says, not by a single group, but by a people of many millions. If anyone knows about conspiracy theories, they'll know that they don't work when it comes to many millions of people. You can't actually fake something across millions of people. You could only maybe convince one or two people, or maybe only a few people could work together to make something up on their own. But you can't have millions of people conspiring to make stuff up. It doesn't make any sense, and it's absolutely scientifically impossible. It could never happen. Of different mentalities, people think, the Jews are all just like one thing, but no, there's actually different mentalities, believe it or not. Walks of life, interests. So the Jewish people are different people. Then people think, the Jews just like conspire together. Millions of people just like decided one day to like make up this Torah to fool everyone else for some reason. Like, no, dude, there's no possibility that millions of people could work together. It's absolutely impossible. It could never happen ever. These are different people, different, like an entire world of people, totally different in every way. Different mentalities, different walks of life, different interests, absolutely different people. There's no possibility that these millions of different people could ever collude. Impossible. Under the most varying circumstances, places, and times. Not just like other religions, it's either one person or like a certain group of people in the same place at the same time, just like sat down one day, it's like, let's like make up some new religion, and the people are like, I gotta have faith, just believe in nothing for no reason. Like, that's all a bunch of ridiculous stuff. The Torah is the only thing that's scientifically impossible to have ever been faked. Such evidence cannot be disputed. There's no possibility of disputing it. And one of the proofs of that is that no one has even ever attempted to dispute it. People try to claim that they don't believe in it, but when it comes to other religions, you could always pinpoint exactly where people think it was fake. They said, it was probably fake, like at this exact time right here. Obviously, this guy could have been lying, this guy could have been lying. The Torah is not dependent on any individual testimony of like one or a few people. There's no place in time or place or people where you could point to and say, maybe this guy, maybe these guys made it up. There's nowhere in history that you could ever point to, because any place you point to is always that place. Is like, once you go to that place, it's like it's as if it already existed from before there. Like King David, King David was obviously a king of people, of many millions of people. They were all keeping the Torah and the Talmud for thousands of years. So like, there's nowhere in history that it ever could have possibly ever been faked. There's nowhere. And no one, and the proof of that is that no one, despite all the arguments against it, no one has ever even attempted to actually intellectually attempt to disprove it. They've never attempted to isolate a specific year and say, maybe it was faked right here. Nope. No one could ever possibly do that. And they never have done that, despite hundreds of years of debate No one's ever even remotely attempted to refute the Torah intellectually, only through emotionally saying, oh yeah, I don't like this, I don't like that. But in terms of the actual scientific evidence that's irrefutable entirely, no one has ever been able to do it. And they will never be able to do it, because every point that they point to, it's like as if they'll find that it actually existed before then as well. The only way that's possible for it to have happened is for it to go back to Moshe and the millions of people in the times of Moshe who saw the revelation of the Creator himself with their own eyes. And that's totally irrefutable. So yeah, anytime people ask what evidence Jewish people have that the Torah is true, this is it. This is irrefutable evidence that can never be denied in any possible way.